just going through. And we just thank you for keeping us covered and keeping us. And Father, let us have a wonderful meeting and let us be able to carry out the things that are decent and in order. In the mighty precious name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please stand with me as we pledge allegiance. Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Board of Adjustments is a 9-member board. We're appointed by the City Council, and we serve on a voluntary basis without compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is that each petitioner's name will be called. Please come to the podium and speak clearly into the mic and be prepared to answer any questions that anyone on the board might have or anyone in the audience may wish to address. Once we receive public testimony on any particular item, members of the board will deliberate and we will render our decision. I remind members with a personal or any financial interest in any item, you're required to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of any agenda item will be binding as to any decision the board makes relative to the motion. I'll remind the members of the board, if a motion to deny an item is made, a reason must be given. This time I'll introduce those of us that are here. Mr. George Howell Jr., Mr. Blake Markham, Mr. Bart Prince, Mr. Pickett Reese, and I'm John Stanley, the chairman. We have with us tonight for his first meeting our new, the city's land use control administrator, Mr. Warren Adams. Mr. Adams, we're glad to have you, and
thank you.
Looking forward to working with you. Ms. Tanya Ingram and Ms. Andrea Spriggs, our recording secretary. Any questions? We have 5 members. We can start the meeting. We are required to have at least 5 members. It takes 5 votes to approve a motion. So if your motion is approved, it requires all 5. If your motion is one person can deny, and therefore your petition might not be approved. But it takes 5 members of the board to approve a motion. If you feel as though that might affect your presentation or any approval, you can delay until the next meeting. We are supposed to have one other member to show up, but they haven't arrived yet. So we will begin the meeting. First item on the agenda is presented by Goodwyn Mills and Cawood, representing Young Men's Christian Association, requesting a special exception for an athletic field with lights, auxiliary structure, and future parking on the properties located on the north side of Wade Street between Rosa Parks Avenue and Aaron Street, and on the east side of Aaron Street, approximately 40 feet north of Wade Street, in a B1AQ and R60D zoning district.
Mr. Stanley, this is Judy Jones with Goodwyn Mills and Cawood, and I would ask if we could hold off on this one. Don't have to? Okay, well, never mind. Okay, then we are requesting approval for a multi-use facility, and we need a special exception because of the zoning.
Okay. Just to make sure it's clear, you are requesting approval for the lights at this time to be installed later.
Correct.
Okay. You're taking care of the parking as presented.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Minimizing parking on the streets, but within parking lots.
Yes.
Right? Okay. All right. Board members, you have any questions? Is anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. You approve?
Thank you.
Item number 2 is presented by Hossain, requesting a height variance and street side yard variance for a new privacy fence to be located at 3255 Hammond Drive in an R85 zoning district. Mr. Hossain here? Okay. We'll see if he shows up a little later. If not, we'll move it forward to the next meeting. Item 3 is presented by Clifford Davis. Mr. Davis, representing the trustees of Shepherds and Lapsey Presbytery, requesting a rear yard and a side yard variances for a new accessory structure to be located at 361 Mendel Parkway East in a B3 zoning district. Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir. We're installing a 20 by 30 accessory building, and 35 feet is the requirement for all property lines, and one corner is going to be within 20 feet, or the back is going to be within 20 feet, and one corner is going to be within 20 feet of the sideline. We will be greater than 10 feet from the existing structure.
Okay, Mr. Davis, you're retaining any water on your site, not spilling any water onto any adjacent property owner?
No,
correct?
sir. We're not going to affect the existing water drainage that's in place.
Okay. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we approve as presented.
Have a motion to approve from Mr. Reese. Any, have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Prince. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion as presented, please raise your hand. You approve?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 4 is presented by Les Cole, requesting a height variance for a new privacy fence to be located at 315 Clanton Avenue in an R60D zoning district.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Don Vaughn. I'm here. The petition was actually submitted by our architect, Les Cole, so he couldn't be here today, so I'm here to represent the church. We're doing some landscaping, build a labyrinth garden behind one of the buildings on our church, and we want to erect a privacy fence on the north boundary of our property. The garden will connect Hull Street. It'll have an access from Hull Street into the garden. We hope that the garden will enhance not only our church property, but the neighborhood as well. This project was approved, the design and layout, by the Architectural Review Board in their meeting on February 28th. And in their letter of approval, they pointed out that we needed to seek your approval for the variance of the height of the fence from 7 feet, and we're asking for a 10-foot approval.
So again, it's been approved by the Architectural Review Board
Yes, sir.
of the neighborhood. Okay? Any question, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we approve as presented.
Have a motion from Mr. Reese. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Howell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Approved. Thank you, Don. Good to see y'all. Item number 5 is presented by Isaac Cooper, requesting a variance to ordinance number 17-2014 to operate a bar in a multi-tenant building located at 3834 Harrison Road in a B2 zoning district. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, my name is Isaac Cooper, and this is my partner, Justin Johnson. And we would like permission to operate a comedy venue. This venue will display...
Speak a little louder, Mr. Cooper, if you will.
I'm sorry. We would like permission to operate a comedy venue. This venue will provide the city of Montgomery with comedy. We also plan to do poetry and arts and crafts in the venue.
Okay, well, our agenda says to operate a bar. So, is that
Well,
correct?
we
Will
plan-
you be
we plan to
serving alcoholic beverages?
Yes, sir. We plan to sell alcohol beverages there at the bar.
And so your proposed hours of operation are Tuesday through Thursday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., Fridays through Sundays from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m., midnight.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know, I guess you realize why you're here and that you're 50 feet from the closest residential property.
Yes, sir.
So because of your proposed use, you need a 200-foot variance
Yes, sir.
because you're supposed to be 250 feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure you understood that. Okay? Any questions, board members?
I'm a little bit concerned about the homes behind it, noise, that sort of thing. How are you going to keep from disturbing the neighbors?
We do not plan to have a DJ in the vicinity, so the noise wouldn't be an issue for the neighbors. I don't foresee it being an issue for the neighbors.
And also the back door.
You need to identify yourself, please.
Yes, sir. Justin Johnson. How you all
And
doing?
speak a little louder.
Yes, sir. The back door is sealed off. Then there's like a ditch in between the residential neighborhood and the back parking lot, then the building. So I think the noise will be limited to the neighborhood that's behind the building, sir.
There's a rear door to the space, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So who will be coming and going out the rear door?
No one, only employees will be allowed in and out of the back door,
Do they?
unless there's an emergency.
Right, okay. Okay, any other questions, board member?
What's
Mr.
in
Prince? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You said there's a ditch line between the residence and the property that you will be using?
Yes, it's a sewer. It's a huge sewer that water flows through in the back of the space.
Right, so
That separates the space and the residential community.
so that would decline on the noise anyway because of the ditch line.
Correct.
Correct, okay, and you will not be having parties or anything, it will just be mostly music and entertainment inside.
We'll be providing comedy, poetry, and arts and crafts is what we'll be doing.
And just music, but nothing else.
No DJ. We will play music, but we won't have any DJ or anything like that.
But it's serving alcoholic beverages,
Correct.
okay? All right,
Who's in the space now?
Nobody.
okay.
Questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. Howell?
Yes, sir.
This ordinance was passed because of something that happened 7 years ago, and I'm very familiar with it. Y'all are going to be open until midnight, is that it?
Friday and Saturday midnight, but
Okay.
throughout the week it will be closed at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Have either one of y'all ever run a place where liquor is served?
No, sir, we have not. This is brand new for us. I'm an associate licensed counselor, and my business partner here, he's in the Air Force, and so this will be something very new for the both of us.
Okay. I wish you well, but I'll tell you this. At midnight, when people have been in there drinking and something happens and somebody wants to turn up the music, what will y'all do?
Could you explain what you mean by turn up the music?
If there's any music at all playing, I mean, you're not going to have a DJ setup, you said, right?
Correct.
All right. What kind of setup will you have?
We'll play music from our iPhones,
Okay.
iTunes.
But you got to have some kind of amplification from your iPhone, don't you?
Well, we're gonna hook up our iPhone to the receiver
Yeah.
and play music that way.
To a receiver with speakers.
Yes, sir. We have little small speakers that we plan to use. Not loud at all.
Okay. I have seen places where people with the best intentions in the world, never having done it before, the crowd, the liquor, and the music gets away from them, from the people responsible for the place, like you guys. When I say it gets away from them, if you're not there, somebody's going to find the amplifier and turn it up. And the other thing is, you've got a back door. I've seen it. And that could be shut. You're going to have it where it can be open because of the fire requirements. If people get hot in there, they may want to open the back door. I've seen that happen. When that happens, that music gets out of there and gets across that ditch and gets into those people's houses over there. Despite your best intentions, it can happen. I've seen it happen. That is why this ordinance was passed, because there was a place that I knew about, and they were going to have a hookah lounge. And a hookah lounge can be a quiet place, meditation, various things. But after about a month, they got a liquor license, and then it got away from them, from the operators of the place. They weren't making enough money or whatever. I'm telling you all this from my experience, and you guys are going to have to take care of your business and keep it a friendly place for the neighborhood. I understand what you're talking about, what you're going to have there. But if you don't keep your thumb on it, it can get away from you. And by that I mean somebody you don't know who comes in or maybe even stays out in the parking lot can cause you a problem. And that's why you've got to stay with it and keep following the rules as you go along. If you've never done it before, you don't know what can happen. I've never really owned a place, but I've seen places get away from owners. It's happened more than once. I'm just speaking off the top of my head, but that's what I've seen. I'm the oldest person up here, so I got a little bit more experience. I think I'm older than Prince over here, but anyway.
Well, sir,
Thank you, Mr. Howell. Would you like to address his comments?
yes, sir. Well, although we'll have the capability to play music, music is not our intention. Our main focus and attention will be on the comedy, the arts and crafts, and the spoken word. So, although we will have it, that's our main focus is the comedy, the arts and crafts.
I understand. Okay. Any other discussion, board members, comments? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If you'll step aside and let him speak. Thank you.
Cruz Reeves, Midtown Montgomery Neighborhood Alliance. I'm here to represent Forest Hills tonight. They're adjacent to this property. And across Harrison Road is First United Methodist Church. There's 5 churches within a close proximity to this property. Flower School is right down the road. We don't want this bar in this area. But the main thing is the variance. It's so close to a house behind it. It's just, this doesn't fit. And we'd appreciate very much if you'd turn this down.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. You're the petitioner. You have the last say.
I appreciate your concerns, sir, but I assure you, this is nothing more than a place where we will do arts and crafts, that's painting. We will have licensed painters to come in and show our audience how to paint. We will have comedy. We have a lot of talented people here in Montgomery that we feel like need displayed. And so those are the things that we'll be doing in that space if allowed. The music will be only used for downtime from one transition of an artist to another. This is not a club. This is not a hookah lounge. This is not your regular bar. We would just only like to serve the alcohol while we display the talent here in Montgomery.
Okay, thank you very much. Board members, you have any other questions? Mr. Prince?
Have you all spoken to the neighborhoods around in that area?
I've reached out to the councilman, it's District 7, in order to ask for an invite to the neighborhood. I was unable to reach him in order to come out and speak to the neighborhood about what it is that we bring, what we like to bring to the neighborhood. I was unable to reach him.
Okay. Any other questions? Mr. Prince, you
Well,
okay?
Mr. Chairman, can we delay this until the neighborhood around them have been consulted with
Well,
this?
I haven't asked for a motion,
Yes, sir.
okay? I'm letting everybody finish,
Yes, sir.
okay? If there's no further discussion, I will ask for a motion on this particular item. You can make a motion if you like.
Since this is such a close conversation, we would like for you all to see if you could reach out to the councilman again and reach the neighborhood so we could give you all the opportunity, because we want to be fair in both ends, and we heard from the president of the neighborhoods, so we want to see if we could get you to reach out.
Mr. Prince, you need to make a motion.
I make a motion that you all reach out to the councilman and to the neighborhood.
You need to make a motion to delay.
Okay.
That's all you need to do?
I make a motion that we delay this.
Your motion is to delay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to delay. All in favor of delaying, please raise your hand. Motion is denied. Now I'll entertain a motion. Another motion. The motion to delay was denied. You have to have 5 votes. I will now entertain a motion otherwise.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we deny this request due to
Yeah.
the close proximity of the city ordinance. As you can see behind me, it's just entirely too close to the residents.
Okay. Have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion to deny and a second. All in favor of the motion to deny this request, please raise your hand. That motion is denied.
That was on the floor.
Huh? The motion. So,
The motion to deny did not carry.
right, the motion to deny did not carry.
Okay. No action taken.
No action taken. We have no action taken. If you want to come back and submit later, you can.
Okay, thank you.
But in the meantime, you can't proceed with what you want to do there. You got a no vote, okay?
Sir?
So in the meantime, you cannot proceed to do what you would like to do there. You either have to come back and submit at a later date and represent at a later date.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Item number 6 is presented by Jeffrey Meyer, requesting a height variance for a new privacy fence to be located at 9925 Dogwood Court in an Ag 1 zoning district. Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir. I currently have a fence along the back of my property, and I'd like to increase the height of it up to 10 feet because of the grade change on my property. There's a drainage ditch behind it, and my property line sits on that. And so, in effect, my fence is already up to 2 feet below the grade level. So my 6-foot fence looks 4 foot. In addition, on one end, my behind me neighbor already has a fence that's about 10 feet tall. And I think you have a picture of that. Did you get a picture of that?
We do.
And you can see the difference between my current 6-foot fence and their 10-foot fence. And so I'd like to put a 10-foot fence there that would end up being, would go from 10 foot at that point down to the other end at 7 to 8 foot. So that it would be kind of straight across.
Right. Okay. Board members, everybody understand?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have any questions of the petitioner? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Mr. Markham. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Reese. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. Thank you, Jeff. Item 7 is presented by Jeffco Engineers and Surveyors, requesting a special exception for vacant property located at 4043 South Court Street to be used for church use, and a rear yard variance for an addition to the church located at 4059 South Court in an R75S zoning district. Hello, Mr. Jeffco.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Guthrie Jeffcoat of 928 South Hull Street, and I've got Pastor Milner with me here to answer any questions about his ministry, except that we've worked for him since 2010, about 13 years, with the church that he has out there now. And they would like to add 25 feet onto the north end of it to have not a cafeteria, a kitchen and a seating area. It's a small lot, small church, small audience, but he does need a variance, and we'd like your affirmative.
Okay, I have some questions here, Guthrie. I believe your new parking area is going to be 11 parking spaces. That's what I counted on the park.
Be how many?
11. You're going to have 11 parking spaces. That's what I counted on the site plan. And I assume are they going to be gravel or parking? Or gravel or paved? Gravel. And you have bumpers? You got to have parking, but if you're going to have a gravel parking lot, you got to have
Wheel stops, yeah.
you got to have the bumpers to designate those 11 parking spaces.
Yes, sir.
And so you're going to go ahead and put those in now?
Should have already been in, yeah. Yeah, you'll need to put them in now. We need to commit to that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this request for a special exception.
Got a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Reese, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Howell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It's approved. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, item number 8 is presented by Jeffcoat Engineers and Surveyors, representing YUSA Inc., requesting a special exception to place 3 mobile homes for living purposes on a parcel located at 6744 Norman Bridge Road in an Ag 1 district.
And I'm still Guthrie Jeffcoat, and we have,
What, Guthrie?
I'm Guthrie Jeffcoat again.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of, I thought you were saying something else. I couldn't hear you.
And I have Brother Ed Fleming with me, a realtor that's representing, that can answer questions that I might not be able to. You know, the market has demanded, because of that construction that's going on down there, for workers to have a place to live. And that's the primary reason for putting these mobile homes down there, is quarters for somebody to rent and live near the site. Appreciate your affirmative on it.
Okay. Mr. Fleming, you got any comments? The more you can address your presentation, the better. It'll give us an opportunity to ask you some questions.
Thank you. Ed Fleming with Hodges, and I do represent the owners of the property. They bought almost 9 acres down there, and it has a nice 2-bedroom house and a workshop on it. Their idea of thinking was they could add a couple of trailers on either side of the fence and have some housing for all the construction workers that are going to be working Hyundai Boulevard and over on Highway 31. And that's what folks had asked us about having, was that. And we had talked to Snowden, to the water company down there, and they said, well, all they needed was to have a separate water meter for each one. And we agreed to do that, and didn't really realize that we were in the city of Montgomery's police jurisdiction. So they came out and told us to stop immediately. So that's what we did, and put this together to come see y'all to see how we could get this worked out.
Okay.
Tell me again what you've done so far.
Just put the 2 trailers out there right now. And we've been working on the 2-bedroom house as well.
So there are 2 trailers there now,
Yes, sir.
but you want to add a 3rd one.
Yes, sir. We own another one, so that we'd like to put 3 there if we could.
Are they hooked up to utilities now?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Is there anyone in the audience that would care to address this item? If so, please come forward. For or against? Anyone for or against? Please come forward. Are you for or against it?
Against.
Okay. Is anyone, let me ask you, is anyone here for it? Okay. All right. We'll give you an opportunity to speak, and I see there's a lot of you that here that are in opposition. Please don't be repetitious. Okay, go ahead.
John Harris, neighbor within 1/2 mile of this location.
Okay. Your name again?
John Harris.
Herod?
Harris.
All right. Okay.
My question is, if there's a demand for rent, how long has the current house been sitting unrented?
Since it was under remodeling when we bought the property. It hadn't been finished yet, and we've only had it about 4 months,
So if there's a demand for rent, 4 months is an excessive time for a vacant property. Obviously, there is not a demand on that site. That's my first comment. If you're ready for the against, I'll be happy to start presenting. I have petitions signed from various members of the neighborhood. From what I can determine from this, everyone that has signed is within approximately 8 miles travels to or from. We are a rural community, so we do not have a number of people that will be directly on that site. So I consider 8 miles a decent address for the petition, so I have that signed from them. They have placed, and I'm sure you have the picture, you put it up just a second ago, 3 trailers stacked in front of this home. You asked them about utilities. We are on sewage systems. Where's the current sewage site for the existing home and the shop? It is not indicated on this drawing. Where's the current sewage facility being presented for 3 trailers to be placed on this site? If you take the drawing that's up there, you go towards that existing shed towards the south end of this property, it falls approximately 8 feet from the current proposed site to the corner down there. The watershed flows that way. The railroad track runs behind it, the road runs in front of it. There is no other place to run that water. You cannot put the sewage system, as Mr. Jeff Coates should well understand as the engineer, down into the lower portion of this field. So there is not an available existing site. They have made no presentation as to where they would do that. There's 8.2 acres was what was listed here.
8.6 is what our survey shows.
8.6. The raised property is to the north end of it. There's obviously plenty of room to spread these trailers out and place them on their appropriate sewage sites with acceptable driveways, acceptable anything else. Y'all are looking at a picture I would like to present for you to consider.
We'd be glad to look at it.
The trailers that they say they want to place, that is the road site with the 2 trailers that they placed. A separate angle. Here's an angle showing you the house that is current. If you look, where are you going to place a third in between the house? There's really not room. What they presented is not to scale for the drivers. The second trailer there is actually an office trailer. It is not a residential trailer. The first trailer, and I do not know, this is probably a 1978 to 1983 that has not been livable for an extended period of time. So obviously in this presentation, there is no intent to make this a good investment for the community of Snowden. So we respectfully request that you deny any special exceptions. If they wish to place trailers on this property, we are not against trailers. Many of the people signing to this petition live in trailers. I myself have lived in a trailer. We're not against that. It just needs to be done decently and within the approved rules, which in the county, I believe we passed 1 acre lots minimum for a trailer. There is no stacked position there.
My name is Rebecca Harris. I'm his other half. On the drawing also by Jeff Coate, it shows an existing house. That is deceptive by looking at that. I do have an 8x10 of this house that has been in this condition, and I understand it's still in this position of rundown, and as well as the established sheds have no roof on them, because this house is full of asbestos, I'm told. Therefore, it has not been expensed to be destroyed properly.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll give your picture back to you. Okay?
I feel I'm done.
I'm going to give others
Is
an
there
opportunity.
something that I did not cover that any of our group would like to cover?
Anyone else care to speak that would have any other comment not already mentioned? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Valerie James. I'm one of the residents in Snowden Chambers. I'm also a registered nurse. My consideration to think about the things as far as this trailer is substandard health. If they're going to be up to standards to provide a livable, healthy environment for the people that would be living there. How many people would be living in these trailers? This is something that I guess the health department would also have to be coming in looking into to see. These are our concerns, just as a community, that we are going to provide what we can for someone coming in, living in there, to make sure that it is not substandard, that it is not a health risk or health hazard for anybody that would be living in those trailers. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Jeffcoat or Mr. Fleming, you have the last say-so.
Well, I'm sure y'all all have a feeling for acreage and small lots and large lots. As lots go, 8.61 acres is quite large for a rural area. Those units, in other words, the reason we hadn't gone through engineering and health department is because there's quite a bit of money involved. And if you can't get past y'all, the project's dead anyhow. This is for land usage, and we'd like the right to put them there and then work out these details of slopes and how much water and how many people when we're dealing with the health department. That's the way it's normally done. So 8.61 acres to add 3 more is not dense at all when the health department will allow you to go down to 1/3 of an acre. One acre. 1 acre in this county. I keep getting, the state reg says 1/3 of an acre, but I think Montgomery County does have a 1 acre requirement.
Yeah.
But even at that, you're not talking about exceeding that with these 3 units.
Well, I'm hearing from the opposition that maybe they don't oppose the mobile homes, but the way you've got them mapped out here, it gives the impression of a mobile home park, okay? The condition of the mobile homes that are there now are in very poor condition. The homes and the other structures are very dilapidated. So the neighborhood is concerned that if we allow what you've presented here, it's going to continue to be more of the same. Okay? Am I correct? So if maybe y'all need to sit down with them before we deny it and come up with a plan and make a commitment to them on what you're going to do with the property.
Okay.
You know, we approve mobile homes often, but we have approved them with required setbacks from the major road, in this case, Norman Bridge Road. We've approved them with proper access on and off of Norman Bridge. Guthrie, you know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
But the way this plan is, they've got 3 mobile homes. It gives the appearance of a mobile home park in the midst of a lot of other rundown, dilapidated structures that this neighborhood is not comfortable with, and I don't blame them. So you can address that however y'all want to, or we'll make our decision and go forward.
Ms. Stanley, the owner is the one that actually laid them out parallel like that to the road. Our suggestion was to put 2 on one side of the fence running the other way, 1 on this side of the fence running the other way, but we can certainly get those drawings done and the other and come back.
I mean, you know, you got a dilapidated
that
piece of property, okay?
That building.
Let me finish. This board has the authority to authorize you before anything's done that you got to clean up the property.
Right.
Okay.
The old building that she showed the picture to, she's exactly correct, needs to be torn down, burnt down. That's not the 2-bedroom house. The 2-bedroom little house is the one next to the workshop. That other one does need to be torn down, and the shed next to it.
Okay.
You're correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what y'all presented here is a problem with the neighborhood and probably with this board. Okay. So anyway, is that all you have to say? We'll go from here.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We can get with them. Yes,
all
sir.
right. Board members, y'all have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Just a second. Just for the record, Guthrie, all of this is or will be on septic tanks, correct?
Yes.
As required by...
Quite expensive, especially in this prairie soil, so they want to go detail that These ended out for nothing, so let's get it approved and then go spending that engineering and construction money.
It's all got to be on septic tanks. What kind of water system is it on?
Snowden water.
Snowden?
Yeah, they said we had to have one for each
Okay.
property.
Okay.
Thank you. Just for the record.
All right, good. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
With the community here representing itself, I will move that we deny this.
Have a motion from Mr. Prince to deny. To have a second?
Mr. Stanley, I need a reason.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to have a reason, Mr. Prince.
Because of the situation with the homes not too close together and the dilapidated houses that's already there presenting a hazard to the community.
Okay. Did you get that, Tanya?
Yes, sir.
So we have a motion to deny on those reasons. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Mr. Knight. Okay.
Mr. Stanley, I believe number 2.
All right, we've got item number 2.
Yeah, they're here.
Item number 2, presented by Hossain, requesting a height variance and a street side yard variance for a new privacy fence to be located at 3255 Hammond Drive in an R85 zoning district.
Yes, sir. First of all, apologies for coming a little bit late. We had our time messed up.
That's okay. You showed up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to hear us out. We're here today to request permission to amend our home fence after failing to get approval from our neighborhood. We'd like to increase the width of our fence by 10 feet, which is in compliance with our neighborhood rules and assigned plat. We have 3 reasons for requesting these amendments: fairness, religion, and utility. Firstly, in terms of fairness, our fenced backyard is significantly smaller than comparable homes on the street. Our backyard is roughly 4,400 square feet, while on average the homes on our street have backyards of 7,000 square feet. The oddly shaped backyard causes this difference, and we have due to a constraint that's only placed on us. Once asked for amendment, we were told that extending the fence would disturb the aesthetics of the community by decreasing the distance from the fence to the sidewalk. However, upon researching similar homes and their fence to sidewalk distance, we found that the average distance is roughly 18 feet, with some short as 10 feet, while ours is a lengthy 37 feet. Secondly, our family is proud American Muslims, and as you may know, my mother and sister have to wear a hijab when outside. However, when they are home with their family, they can remove this scarf. Due to the small fenced backyard, this area is significantly reduced. And lastly, we want to talk about the utility of this additional space. My family immigrated here from Bangladesh, and Bengalis love their colorful gardens. We grow all types of fruits and vegetables, such as figs, peaches, squash, zucchinis, lemons, and more. And we give roughly 60 to 70% of these produces to our neighbors, friends, and family. More importantly, this gardening is an important hobby for us, as it's really therapeutic to my parents. These 10 feet may seem minuscule, but it would mean a lot to us, and we really appreciate any guidance and aid this court may provide. Additionally, we have prepared some packets for some of the data we presented, and we'll be happy to share with you. Thank you once again for your time.
Do you have a homeowner association out there?
Yes, sir.
Has this been presented to them?
Yes, so we have previously, and as aforementioned, they have denied it just because of the aesthetics of the new fence. So yeah.
What they denied because of the aesthetics of the
Yes,
fence?
they said-
What do you propose the fence to look like, and what type of material?
Yes, standard fence. They just said that increasing.
Wait a minute. Wood fence?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 6 foot high wood fence.
Yes,
right.
sir.
Aesthetics as in terms of like uniform of the whole neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And
So is it going to be a natural color? Or?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. You're not going. I mean, when you said aesthetics, it leads me to believe that it's something unique to the neighborhood.
No, sir. No, sir.
It's not.
No. Yeah.
It's typical.
Yes, sir. It's just,
okay.
Yeah. Your natural walnut stain, correct?
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
And if you would allow me, I can bring up the packets of research we did.
But 6 foot high.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You got something?
Yeah. This is the data I presented earlier. These are just satellite images that we got the measurements for. And there is a typo. It says 5 feet and 2.
Yeah. What neighborhood is this?
Sturber's Plantation. It's on Taylor Road.
What's the name of it?
Sturbridge Plantation.
Sturbridge.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So again, why did the HOA turn it down?
They just said that like increasing that width is going to make the surrounding area ugly.
Only by 10 feet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a little odd. Huh? We put this in all the time. Okay. Any question, board members? We don't have any jurisdiction. Well, he didn't say that. One of the board members has suggested that you may have covenants and restrictions.
Yes, sir.
That might restrict you from doing this.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
Now, the board has no jurisdiction over covenants and restrictions, but that doesn't say the HOA might have a problem with it, okay?
Yes, sir. So the covenants, I think it was plat number 13 where our land sits. It says that from the sidewalk we can have up to 15 feet. And so with this 10 feet increase, it would put us at 27 feet from the sidewalk.
Well, we're dealing with setbacks here, okay?
Yes, sir.
I mean, are there not other 6-foot-high fences in the neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
There are?
Yeah.
There are other 6-foot fences?
Yeah, ours currently is 6 feet. Everyone else is standard 6 feet.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Right.
So the objection so far has been the encroachment of another 10 feet closer to the street.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Any question, board members? No. Nobody here in the audience, so I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this request for a special exception.
Have a motion to approve. Have a second?
Excuse me, for a height variance.
Height variance and setback.
And setback.
Yeah, and I second.
You have a second?
Yeah.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. You approve, Mr. Pratt, you got? Yeah, okay. You approve.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Now, you're approved by us. We're not telling you you're approved as it relates to any covenants and restrictions that you may be subject to.
Yes, sir. We just hope this would maybe kind of escalate or like help with the actual.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You got it? All right.
You want your material back?
We can take that.
Have a motion to approve the minutes from the last board.
So be it.
Have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. And Mr. Adams, again, we're glad to have you with us and look forward to working with you.
Thank you. You too.
And we promise we'll behave. Have a motion. Tanya,
Sir?
question.
Do you want to adjourn
Do we
first?
want to deal with, the vice chairman at this time or deal with it next time?
It's up to you. You only have 5 members here.
I'd rather wait.
Okay, we can wait.
Okay, I'd like for everybody to be aware.
If
And
you-
then that'll give the board members time to decide.
Yeah, if you want to
Okay.
adjourn the meeting, then you can let them know what's
All right.
going on.
I would have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.